Hello dear students, I am Ejaz Hussain, a lecturer in Wisdom College of Commerce and Management, Sinnoor. So as you can see on the slide, now I am going to discuss with you about the concept of ratio analysis, which is the most important concept for your BCom syllabus under Gulbarga University and for most importantly BCom 6th semester. But this concept, the ratio analysis, is not only related to BCom, it is related to PUC, it is related to BCom, it is related to BBM, it is related to MCom, MA and many more aspects which are related to commerce. Okay, so far we have completed the chapters of fund flow statement, cash flow statement. Now we are moving for the ratio analysis. The term ratio analysis, personally I feel that when I was going through this chapter, I felt like it is a little bit difficult. But once I got the concept of ratio analysis, it is very easy. Sometimes it feels like there are nearly 15 to 20 ratios which are to be memorized. But believe me, if you try to memorize, it might be difficult. But if you understand the concept of ratio analysis, that what is the ratio and why it is used to analyze the financial statements, and it will be very easy to understand the concept with the help of few different aspects, few different strategies. Okay, I will continue with the concept ratio analysis. First, let's know what is this ratio means. Before analyzing the ratios, what is the ratio means? We'll go one by one. Let's understand the meaning. As simply it says, a ratio refers to the establishment of relationship between any two interrelated variables. This is very important. The two interrelated variables. If there is only a single variable, you cannot apply the concept of ratios. Neither a single ratio can be applied. Okay, there must be two, what kind of variables? Interrelated variables. They must be alternative. They must be related to one another. Suppose, for example, if I say a student of BCom 6th semester has secured 90. Concentrate on this term. A student of BCom 6th semester has secured 90. There is nothing mentioned which is 90 marks or 90 percentage. So there must be a number which is related to another number or any similar variable. Suppose if I say, you can ask me, sir, what is this 90? Whether he is scored 90 out of 600, 90 marks out of 600 marks, or whether he has been scored 90 percentage out of 600 marks. So if I say he scored just 90 marks out of 600 marks, you can calculate and you will get nearly 15 percentage of the result, which is very less than the eligibility, 35 percentage. If I say 95 percentage overall in 600 marks, you can say the student is very intelligent. That you can come to a conclusion. You can take a decision that this student of BCom 6th semester has scored 95 percentage in this academic year, in his 6 out of 600 marks. So there must be two interrelated variables so that you can calculate and you can decide, you can analyze. Okay. And as we move on, ratio is the arithmetical expression of the relationship of two numbers, as I said. These two numbers may be related to financial information of the company. More importantly, the term ratio analysis is mostly used in financial statements. The important concept is related to financial statement analysis. It is the one of the concept. So here, the financial information which we get through trading account, profit and loss account, through balance sheet, these are the financials, income and expenditures, revenue receipts. These are the financial statements, comparative statements, through which we can analyze the financial position of the company, whether the company is in good position or the company will be closed after 2 years, 3 years if it goes through like this. So we can easily decide, we can easily understand with the help of ratios. So a ratio is simply refers to the establishment of relationship between any two interrelated variables, as it is related to the analysis aspect. An analysis of financial statements with the help of ratios called as ratio analysis. Simply, just you need to change the terms. Just you need to replace the terms. An analysis of financial statements with the help of ratios called as ratio analysis. There will be an accountant in every company. He is to maintain the accounts of trading account, profit and loss account, balance sheet. For every year he has to maintain the records. So those records can be analyzed through ratios, and this procedure is called as ratio analysis. For example, if we go through the financial aspects, there is a relationship between the amount of profit and the amount of sales revenue earned, as one influenced by other. Simply, whenever you ask a businessman, whenever you ask a trader, he is going to mention what is his purpose. He wants to earn profit, the main intention, the ultimate objective. So if he wants to earn profit, the only condition, he has to increase his sales. Suppose you can say, if I am earning 20,000 rupees profit this year, if I want to increase the percentage of this profit, the condition is I have to increase the percentage of sales. Unless the sales revenue is increased, the profit percentage cannot be increased. Okay, so you can easily relate it to this sales revenue and profit, and you can calculate how much sales has to be done in order to increase the percentage of profit. Okay, and there are different methods through which you can express the ratios. The methods of expression of ratios. First is proportion, percentage, and number of times. I will give you the examples in the upcoming videos. You can easily understand. Okay. And now we have objectives of ratio analysis. Why we have here we have concept. Why the concept of ratio analysis is there, and why we need to study. How we can take a decision. The first and foremost important objective is to simplify the accounting statements. As a layman person, as a normal a commerce student as well, he may not be able to understand the complete balance sheets of different years of different companies. But with the simplification which has been done by the ratios, that it explains this much of percentage of sales has to be done to increase the percentage of profit. So it indicates the relationship between two aspects. As you are going to simplify the statements with the help of ratios, a manager can take the decision easily which aspect has to be improved. Okay, the overall statement has to be simplified. Then we have to plan and to forecast. Planning is related to future, forecasting is also related to future. This aspect, this activity is related to future, which can be conducted with the help of past accounting records, which has been maintained by the accountants. The accountant will record the balance sheets and everything. With those, we can plan for the future, we can forecast for the future. That if we go through like this, at what stage we can increase the percentage of profit, we can increase our customers, number of customers, we can increase our assets, the fixed assets, current assets, how many fixed assets we can purchase if we go through this much of profit. So we can plan for the future and we can predict something. If we do this much of efforts, we can achieve it within 1 year. And to locate the weak spots. Okay, you can say, sir, my company is very good in sales turnover. We increase sales turnover every year. Every year there is an increase in sales turnover. But
your company is not able to recover the funds, is not able to collect the funds to whom the goods have been sold. Your company is not able to collect the funds from debtors. Okay, you are very good at selling goods. You are selling goods on credit basis and the turnover is increasing every year, but you are not able to recover the funds. You are not able to collect the funds. So that could be the weak spot which can be found out with the help of ratio analysis. Specifically, the ratio is called as debtors turnover ratio. You can analyze the sales with the help of stock turnover ratio, and you can analyze how much you are going to collect this year, and you can also predict for the future. If you give this much of credit facility this year, how much of funds can be collected next year, and how much of performance can be increased the next year. Okay, to locate the weak spots. Okay. Then we have to communicate with both internal and external parties. As simply, accounting records are to be used as a communication tool by the manager to communicate with shareholders, to communicate with customers, to communicate with board of directors, and to communicate with mostly employees. So both for the internal parties and external parties, to the board of directors, to the management body, and to the customers, to the banking authorities, to the outside parties, outside creditors. You can easily communicate with them by showing the record ratio, which has been done by the ratio analysis. And to enable both intra-firm and inter-firm comparison. To enable both intra-firm and inter-firm. Intra-firm is nothing but you are comparing the performance of your company of past records and present performance. You are comparing your own performance of past and present. That is what intra-firm. The comparison is within the company. Now inter-firm. The comparison is between two similar companies. There must be two similar companies and there will be a possibility of comparison of performance, whether your company is good or their company is good. Okay. And last, we have the objective of to facilitate the decisions by the management. The overall decisions which has to be taken by the management, board of directors, shareholders will be based on the records maintained by the accountants, calculated through the ratios. Based on these ratios, you can suggest your management body. You can suggest your chief executive officer, sir, if you follow this much of performance this year, we can develop our company. Okay, where you can give suggestions and your management can take the decisions without lot of difficulty. These are the objectives which can be mostly asked for 5 months. And now we have the merits of ratio analysis. The first advantage, the first merit of ratio analysis is it helps to analyze liquidity position of the concern. It helps to analyze liquidity position of the concern. What is this liquidity position? It is also called as short-term solvency, the ability of the company to pay off its debts. What kind of debts? Short-term debts. To pay off its creditors, account payables, bills payables, outstanding liabilities. So these are the liabilities which have to be paid within a year, and through which it can be compared. It can be compared to the short-term assets. The short-term assets are used to pay off the short-term liability. The liquidity position. What is the liquidity position of the company? You can calculate with the help of liquidity ratios. We will come to discuss what are the liquidity ratios, how many types are there. Then it helps to analyze long-term solvency of the firm. So there is a second type of ratio which is solvency ratio, mostly related to long-term solvency, like debentures, long-term loans from banks. So these are the liabilities which are to be paid through the long-term assets, the fixed assets, or with the help of capital collected by the shareholders. Okay, the long-term solvency of the firm can be calculated with the help of ratios. And ratio analysis helps to evaluate operating efficiency of the company, operating efficiency of the firm. By calculating operating cost ratio, operating profit ratio, you can easily analyze what is the operating efficiency, which we call EBIT, earning before interest and tax. So this EBIT will be helpful for you to calculate, to analyze what is the operating efficiency of the concern. And it helps to evaluate profitability of the concern, profitability of the organization. What is the profitability? How much percentage it has been increased? It can be calculated through profitability ratios. Then again, there are many ratios. We can divide it into two parts: profitability in relation to sales. If we do this much of sales, how much of profit we can earn? So these are the ratios which help you to analyze what is the present profitability, what is the capacity of the concern to earn the profit, and it helps to control the activities. In order to control the performance, in order to control an event, first we must have the standards. We must have the targets. You can say the targets which has been given by the companies to the employees. If they perform according to the target, there will be a salary as well as incentive. If they are below the targets, they will just get the salary, but not incentives. Not incentives like the bonus, any kind of additional amount, additional commission. There will be nothing. So there must be the standards. If you can say that the ratios must indicate this much of position, and you are calculating the person performance, but it is not according to the standards, you can take the action in order to recover the performance, in order to recover the situation. So with the help of ratios, we can easily control the activities, and it helps to establish the relationship between two variables. As we have discussed in the starting of the chapter, it helps to establish the relationship between two variables. The two interrelated similar variables can be easily analyzed. And these are the merits, and we have now the types of ratios which are to be discussed in upcoming videos. We will discuss with the different examples, different problems. The first one is liquidity ratios. Liquidity ratios, solvency ratios, activity ratios, and profitability ratios. One by one we shall discuss each of the ratios, and again there are many sub ratios which are to be followed in single head. Okay, and this part is to be continued. Thank you.